Hey, this is Faith Talk Live with Rick and
Dan Ratcliffe.
And Just Morgan.
and also Pastor Greg Laurie from Harvest and A New Beginning in California. Pastor, thanks for getting up and hanging with us.
Hey, Rick, it's great to be with you guys. Thanks for having me on.
I mentioned before we went live on Zoom and also on the air about your podcast on Friday. It was timely for such a time as this. And in fact, I listened to it a couple of times and I was like, this is really good. Folks really need to hear this in what we're in, the pandemic, the COVID-19, the coronavirus. So, and also not only listen to that, but we want to just pick your brain a little bit about what's going on your end now. You guys are locked down, right, in California?
We are totally locked down. Now, you wouldn't know it because I was tired of being cooped up the other day, so we went down by the water, to the ocean. Everyone and their mother was out, and trust me, they weren't all practicing social distancing either. So, but it was a beautiful day. It was sunny. But yeah, we are in lockdown, and I've been spending a lot of time inside. And I just wanted to mention one thing, Rick. The program you were listening to is the story of Esther, and it's the story of a young woman, an obscure young woman that was chosen by God to save the Jewish people. And we all know that story if we've read our Bibles. One of the most powerful, amazing stories in all of Scripture. But the whole point of it was when after she became the queen and she was in a position to do some good, her uncle Mordecai came to her and says, who knows that God has not put you there for such a time as this? And I think right now, this has not caught God by surprise. Mm-hmm. He knew it was coming. He knows what's going on. He's still on the throne. He still loves us. And there's a couple things that I've seen. There's a lot of inconveniences. And of course, we're very concerned about anyone who has the coronavirus. And we're praying that God would heal them. We're praying that the Lord would turn it back even. One thing we're going to launch probably in the next couple of days, it's simply called 714. We're going to ask people to set their phones to 714, morning and evening. And when the alarm goes off, pray for America. Why 714? Because 2 Chronicles 7:14 says, God speaking, if my people, which are called by my name, will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, I'll hear from heaven, I'll forgive their sin and heal their land. And that's really what we're praying for right now. But anyway, I've seen people come together. I mean, hey, we're all together talking. I've seen people spending more time together. Frankly, families are getting on each other's nerves, I think, at this point too. But I also think, you guys, that this is a tremendous opportunity for sharing the gospel, because people are scared, they're worried for good reason in many ways, and they don't know where to turn. And so we're in a great position, again, looping back, for such a time as this. See, you ask a preacher a question about what's going on and you get a little miniature sermon.
I know you were talking to our friend Dave Spiker
Yes.
on the podcast. Of course, he's your host and for the show as well. But you mentioned something about, I don't remember how many P's. I'm sorry. Was it 4 P's? You came out and you said, well, that's what you get when you get a preacher. You get 4 P's or 4 S's or 4 whatevers.
Yes. Everything's an outline. And anything you tell me is a potential sermon illustration, so be very careful.
Pastor Greg Laurie
knows this.
Pastor Greg Laurie with us on Zoom, and we're talking to him. I'm assuming that is your home office there. Is that right? That assumption?
Yeah, this is my home office. It sure is.
How's your family doing in the midst? You mentioned about getting on each other's nerves. Now, I don't want to meddle in your affairs, but I got to tell you, I have 2 teens still at home. My wife's working upstairs.
God bless you.
Yes, and I'm downstairs, and we're on each other's nerves. So we need Jesus.
Yeah, well, we do. It's normally we all go and do our own thing. You go to work, and your wife goes to work, or she's at home, or your kids are at school, or wherever everyone goes. We're apart, and we're always saying, "Oh, we don't have any time to be together as a family. We need more family time." We've got a lot of family time now, man, I'm telling you. But it's a beautiful thing, though, too. But yes, we can get on each other's nerves. I think we need to be patient. I think I like to think of an acronym that I apply. It's called THINK, THINK, to apply before you say something. T for is it true? H for is it helpful? I for is it inspiring? N for is it necessary? And K, is it kind?
Hmm.
So before I say that thing to my mate, my spouse, or to my child, or to my parent, or to whoever, wait a second, is this thing true? Is this thing necessary? Is this thing kind? A lot of things we can just not say, but I think we need to be extra patient and pray for patience with family members right now, and so that's an issue. And what I think I heard on the news today, we're 8 days into this
Hmm.
lockdown thing. Is that right?
Right.
Right.
Day 8 in the lockdown. Yeah, so lots of patience. Need help from the Holy Spirit for that.
Now this is, Greg, kind of not kind of, it really is an unprecedented time in what I've seen in the almost 50 years I've been on Earth. But being an unprecedented time, as you mentioned earlier, it's a time for the church where we can really point people to Jesus. Have you seen people, whether through the show or your church or whatever, coming and asking questions and turning and saying, "Hey, what's going on, and how can you help?"
100%, Dan. To illustrate, okay, so one Sunday we're meeting in person, and then the next Sunday we're not meeting. I didn't even have the time to announce to our congregation we were going online. We had to do everything online. And of course, not all of our congregation is tech savvy. Many of them are, but not all of them are.
Mm-hmm.
So, but here's what happened for us, thank God. We've been really developing our webcast, our live service online for the last 6 months. We've had it for a long time, but we've been really taking it to the next level with interactive chatting and things like that. So we were in a pretty good position. So from one Sunday when we were live, we had, like probably 14,000 people that Sunday at church in person. The next Sunday, nobody was at church in person, but 250,000 people
Wow.
were watching us at our website. And those
Wow.
are not exaggerated numbers. Those are real numbers. And then we're counting each one of those as one. Now, I know in many cases, it's a family watching us. It's multiple people watching us. And so, we had a 400% increase. But here's the best news of all. Week number 1, at the end of my little message, we did a service called Harvest at Home. We're still doing it, and I hope people will watch it. It's at harvest.org. You can watch the last 2. And it will be live this coming Sunday. Starts at 6 in the morning, goes to 10 at night, multiple services, if you will. But at the end of the message, I gave an invitation for people to accept Christ, and 1,700 people responded online.
Wow.
That was last week. This week, yesterday, Sunday, gave another invitation. 3,000 people responded. So
Wow.
we've had almost 5,000, and we will have 5,000 probably by the end of the day because people watch the archive. 5,000 people have responded online to accept Jesus. So if there's any pastors listening, I just really want to urge them with this simple idea. I hope you have an online service. If you don't, start one immediately. Even if it's low tech, like what we're doing with Zoom is good. It's it's not perfect, but it's good, and you can still communicate. Do the live service. And here's the biggest thing I would say. When you're done with your message or at some point in your service, tell people what the gospel is and tell them how to accept Jesus, because this may be one of the biggest openings for the gospel that I've seen in my lifetime.
Wow. And you have seen thousands come to Christ over the years.
Yeah, we've we do these crusade events and called Harvest Crusades, and over the last 31 years, we've seen around 500,000 plus people respond in person. We did an event called Harvest America a few years ago at AT&T Stadium, and then we opened it up to churches and for people to watch in their homes wherever. And we had, when it was all said and done, a lot of people watch. But we had more people watch our church service last Sunday than we had for Harvest America, and this is growing.
Wow.
So I think we got to embrace the tech, people. I mean, there
Yeah.
are people that are resistant. It's like, come on, man, get with it. And if you're older and you don't understand how this stuff works, if you're old like Rick here with this white beard, I bet I'm older than you, Rick. Rick, how old are you?
I'm almost 60.
I got 7 years on you, buddy. Okay. If I grew a beard, it would be white just like yours. But my beard when I was younger, it was red, of all things. I had a red beard.
Oh, wow.
No, it would be a white beard. But, if you don't understand how to use this tech, get a young person to help you. They know.
Yeah, exactly.
Glad to have me.
Love it.
Get Morgan in there. Get Morgan in there.
Pastor Greg Laurie from A New Beginning. Go to harvest.org to find out more. And the 714, do that with these guys. I think that's brilliant. And thanks for the input for all the pastors around that both watch you and listen to you. And Pastor, we appreciate you. Love you to pieces. And we'd love to get back with you maybe in a couple of weeks to check and see what the temperature is out there, the climate.
Sure. Be happy to come back on. God bless all of you guys. And thank you for all that you're doing to bring words of encouragement to people out there, because people are listening, people are watching, and people need hope, especially at a time like this. And I think what we're doing is of the greatest importance, honestly.
Awesome. Pastor Greg Laurie of A New Beginning and harvest.org. And of course, you can hear A New Beginning right here at Faith Talk Atlanta, faithtalkatlanta.com. We'll be back. I'm Rick Probst.
I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
I'm just Morgan.
Stay right there.